Well, so here we go. So what you really want to do is that you want to actually start by talking directly to your visitors. You really want to, the moment they actually land on the page, you want to tell them, well, you are at the right place. So you can do that by asking them a question. So look at this. Feel like you're stuck in a rut or a vicious circle? So, it instantly grabs their attention and sort of makes them, makes them give a subtle nod to your text and say, well, yeah, actually, that's how I feel. So your right target audience, the people that you really want to work with, that's exactly how they are feeling. They're feeling stuck in, and like they're in a vicious circle, right? Hate not being able to make any progress while everyone else seems to be progressing. So that's their exact state of mind. The fact that, they feel that they are actually left behind. The fact that everyone else is making progress, while they're actually scrolling through their Facebook feed and they look at all these people who are sort of just, maybe they're giving a talk at the TEDx podium, or maybe they're just collecting an award, or there's another revenue report they're actually posting on their blog or something or the other. We live in a fiercely competitive world, right? So it's very easy to actually feel lost and feel like you're not progressing. So, well, that is also the manifestation of the exact pain point, the exact problem. That's how you really feel, right? So you need to paint that picture very vividly into the minds of your readers and in the mind of your visitors, right? And you really need to sort of catch them off guard and tell them, well, I know this is how you're feeling. Well, this is how I know this is what you hate about yourself, about your life, right? And then, well, it immediately asks for the action above the fold, which is book your first free and confidential sample session with me to discover how life coaching can take you from feeling constantly stuck and frustrated to being excited about starting your days, right? Book my free and confidential session now. So, well, what this really does, well, the small piece of copy, what it really does well is that it actually, instantly positions her as someone who is the solution to their exact problem, who can actually take them from feeling stuck and frustrated to be excited about starting their days. And that's exactly what their dream destination is. That's where they really see themselves, right? And further, does this ring true for you? Now, what you must notice in this piece of copy is that while it may not resonate with everyone, it would resonate with a few people, but at a very deeper level. It would really form a deeper connection with them. Why? Well, just because of the way it is written, because of the way it really paints a vivid picture, right? So, you constantly feel demotivated and end up wasting hours battling overwhelms and monstrous self-doubts. Well, so that's the manifestation of the problem. There were times in your life when you failed to achieve a goal. You play, replay, and rewind them in your mind all the time and downplay yourself, right? So that's exactly how they feel on a day-to-day basis, right? They live with guilt. Your mental stack of negative and frictional thoughts is overflowing and you feel helpless about it. Well, so you sort of take a step back and, just close your eyes and really think, how would my ideal buyer, how would my ideal, or my prospect would be really feeling about his days? How would they be really thinking, right? And what will be the roadblocks on their way to success or on their way to achieving the end goal that I am promising them, right? So let me give you a case in point here. For example, there's somebody who really wants to lose weight, right? The manifestation of the problem for her is that when she looks at herself in the mirror and she looks at those sagging arms and double chin, that's like seeing the problem in flesh and bone right from her eyes, and really seeing and feeling the problem like nothing else. So when you really talk about it, when you really mention those details, that's when you're activating mirror neurons, right? You're making her see herself in your copy, and that's the hallmark of a very powerful copy, right? And then you feel lost, doubt your purpose in life, and often find yourself seeking answers to questions about your existence. Well, so that's how my prospect is really feeling about his days. Making peace with your inner devil seems like an unattainable goal. So do you notice, the fact that you're struggling to make peace with your inner devil, so the counter voice that you have is always overpowering you, right? And you're constantly trying to, battle those monstrous self-doubts and the overwhelms, and you're not able to do that, right? So if that sounds like you, then I can help. So perfectly positions her to be able to offer them the solution they are looking for. Why? Well, simply because she has an understanding of their problem like no one else. So that is how she can actually, I mean, that's what you need to really think about. That how can you stop sounding like every other life coach who's selling the same stuff, who's operating in the same niche, right? How can you stop sounding like every other person on planet Earth, selling similar solutions to yours, and carve a niche for yourself, right? Create a market for yourself. So, well, a great way to do that is to paint a picture, is to go really deeper and resonate with their exact pain points, right? Now, let's look at another version of the same copy, right? All right, so here we go. Now, what we've actually done is over here, we've put the entire focus on one thing, which is self-doubt. So we have positioned her as someone who helps people actually overcome their self-doubts and achieve their potential. So as you can notice, it starts in a very upbeat note, which is get freedom from self-doubt, achieve your greatest potential, finally. So well, it's very, very promising and upbeat headline, and it actually guarantees that you will get freedom from self-doubt, right? And why? Well, so that you can achieve your greatest potential. So that's how we position Carrie as someone who will help people get to their final destination. So not just another life coach, not just a generic life coach, one solution for everything and one size fits all kind of a thing, but a very, very specific answer to your problems, or to the sort of helping you actually achieve success in life, right? So a very specific life coach for a very specific purpose, right? And that's what really sets her apart. That's what really distinguishes her from everyone else selling the same solution, selling the same life coaching to audiences out there, right? So further, we can actually go on to say, book your first free and confidential sample session with me and discover how life coaching can take you from being paralyzed by self-doubt. You notice that word, paralyzed by self-doubt? Well, that's exactly how somebody would talk, right? Or would feel in his mind, right? The fact that he just cannot, it just constricts your thoughts, it just constricts your actions, it just constrains your actions. You're not able to actually, do anything confidently. Why? Because there's always this factor of self-doubt which is pulling you back, right? And constantly seeking self-validation. So the fact that you always want to be appreciated, or you always want to be told that, well, you are on the right track, you're doing the right job, because you're seeking self-validations quite proactively, right? So she promises that I can take you from there to actually feeling confident in your own skin, to being confident in your own skin. So that's such a powerful promise, right? So people would just get pulled in. People who are actually struggling with that kind of self-doubt, or with those problems of seeking constant self-validations, they would be pulled in straight away, hook, line, and sinker, right? Just because the promise is so powerful, right? So that's what you really want to do. You want to really pull them in hook, line, and sinker, and you can only do that when you make a very confident, a very, very solid promise, which really speaks to them, which actually activates those mirror neurons that I was talking about, right? So then, book my free and confidential session now. Well, this is the right place to place the call to action button. Why? Well, because we have given them reasons to click, instead of when it was actually here, like where we saw, sample sessions just floating in the air. Well, there are no reasons to actually click the call to action button. Just because you've shown me a quote, you expect me to click? Well, that's not done, right? So that's how you really want to approach this, right? And now let's look further. So does this sound too familiar? So again, in this piece, we're going to discuss here in this copy which I'm just going to show you in a moment. What you must notice is that it really is not throwing information at someone. Carrie is an awesome person. She is she's got all these popular degrees, and she's really, I'm sure Carrie's beautiful. She's amazing. She really does a great job, right? But you really want to focus on them. You really want to focus on your visitors, because the hero of your story is quite contrary to your belief. It's not you. It's your visitor, it's your prospect, right? So let's put focus on them. So here's how we can do that. Now look at this. Again, I'm going to actually make a disclaimer here. It might not resonate with everybody, but it's going to resonate with a few people, and it's going to resonate at a very, very deep level. So let's look at this beautiful storyline. So what I've written is that you're filling out an application form for a coveted job. You really want and need one, but you look at those blank spaces in the form with headlines asking you to write down your core skills and strengths. You stare hard at them for hours, write something, scratch it, and scribble something again. But you're not confident about selling yourself. You don't think your achievements are good enough to get you hired. What if I get rejected again? You wonder. You write off yourself and go back to where you were, to the state of hopelessness. Well, so do you notice how vividly it really paints the picture in the reader's mind, how it really reminds you of the time when you were probably filling out this form and you kind of felt that anxiety and you kind of sort of just wrote off yourself and, had all that, had those thoughts about self-doubt actually clouding your mind and sort of, not letting the light of the opportunity pass through, right? So that's how vivid it is. Your friend asks you about your job, and if you've got some offers, you tell them it's in progress. I'm talking to a few people. Silently, you're praying under breath that those questions are never raised again. You go back and shut yourself in the dark room of doom, too scared to throw yourself out of your comfort zone ever again. If that sounds like you, then I can help. So with that, we position Carrie as the exact solution to the problem that her prospects are going through, which is self-doubt, which has reached a level of no return, right? That's when you need a life coach. That's when you need someone as educated as Carrie, who clinically, and not just clinically, but also at every level, she knows how to really deal with that, how to really put those doubts behind you and, achieve what you want in life, how to get ahead in life, right? So that's a hallmark of a strategic copy, something that really connects with your prospect at a deeper level, something that really speaks to them, right? Which strikes powerful conversations, gets them drawn in, and makes them feel part of their story, right? So, well, that's what you really want to do. You want to resonate with some people, but resonate with them at a level which is so deep that, they'll be amazed. To them, it'll feel like it's a friend. It's not just a friend, but a best friend forever, a BFF talking to them. That's what you want to do with your prospects, right? Well, so that's that, and I would just end on this note by actually telling you that if you want your landing page makeover, you feel free to write to me at thehumengine@gmail.com, and I also have a training on empathy, creating messages with empathy, how not to sound salesy and slimy, and how to sound just right in your messaging so that your prospects just drool over your offer, and actually they just can't help but exclaim, "Oh my God, where have you been all this while? I was actually looking for you. Please take my money." Well, so if that's the kind of reaction that you're looking to evoke, then you have to check out thehumengine.com, which is where I have my training available for you. It's an 11-minute video training, which I'm sure you will enjoy. So thanks for sticking around, and thanks for watching this. And I'm sure, or should I say, I'm hopeful that you really learned a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye.